Let's speak to a man who's a big City fan, of course. Noel Gallagher. A very good morning to you, Noel.
Hello.
First thoughts here when you heard that you'd not added to the pot with Sergio Aguero.
I haven't seen a lot of him, so I don't know.
Well, he's a fantastic quality. He's a strong player too, really strong.
Yeah, everybody's saying he's great, and all the other players are saying he's great, so he must be, I guess. But I'd be excited if him and Tevez are playing up front. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Do you see Tevez being there? No, I mean he's somebody that at this moment in time it's going to be doubtful, isn't it? He's not even back.
No, because I've always said he's effectively been for sale since last January. So if he was going to go, he'd have gone by now. I mean, he wants to go, but nobody is suddenly going to find that 50 million down the back of the couch now, are they?
No.
That all the big clubs like Madrid and Milan clubs and all that, they've been put on alert since January. So I'm thinking, why would you not have had him already? You're not going to wait until the day after the season starts to buy him. I think he stays.
Do you approach this season as a City fan, and we've talked to many of them already, like no other, that this time there is a real chance in the first time in many years for you to take the top spot?
Well, I remember coming out of Wembley after we beat United in the semi-final and saying I went out with a drink for some of the people from City, and I was saying, being a typical City fan, and I was saying, look, don't worry about this. We'll lose that final. Don't worry about that. We'll beat United and lose that, and we'll end up finishing fifth. So we could end up with nothing. We were all celebrating we beat United. I said we'll end up fifth and end up with now. But now we've but that was the old Man City. The new Man City are looking strong, and I think what's going to stand us in the best stead this season is we've got the best back five in the country. I think with and the first choice back four, I think is great, and even the backup, if we like Colo Torre and Kolarov and all that, and Zabaleta, I think, and with Joe, I think if we keep them all fit and firing, I think we're going to go really, really, really close. But it adds a different kind of pressure. There was pressure last year where we hadn't won a trophy for so many years and all that. This is a different kind of pressure. Now we've won a trophy and came third. The only other thing now is to win it,
Yeah.
I timed Noel. It was 35 seconds before he mentioned that semi-final victory over Man United. I knew it was going to be that.
I tell you what, you mentioned the new Manchester City there. The impressive thing, I was there that day as well, Noel, was that United had a couple of early chances there, but Manchester City they just grew stronger as the game went on, and the belief was that in the end you didn't feel Manchester United had answers to them. No,
I think there was a 20-minute. It felt like 20 minutes period in the second half where Torre just became unplayable.
Yeah.
And I watched him. I mean, I go to a lot of the City games. I went to a lot last season because I had a lot of time off. And as the season went on, the first maybe 6 games, it was like, he's not getting to grips with this. The transformation in when the last 6 games, he looks like a £50 million player.
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely agree with you there, Noel. It was like he moved into another gear, and they couldn't cope with him physically, could they, on the day Man United?
Yeah, it's just like he kind of, after Christmas, he sussed it, you know, and he knew when to get forward and he knows when to drop back. But I think there was a period in that game where he was just unplayable, and I think, we weren't 3-0 down at half-time as anybody's guess, but I just think United looked a little bit weary. As they did in the Champions League final, they looked like what they are. They're in a transitional period as such.
He's playing mind games with
he is playing mind games with all of us at the moment.
What about Mancini, Noel? What about Mancini? Are you a fan?
Yeah, I think he's great. I think he's great. I think to do what he did in his first full season under what must have been enormous pressure with a team that apparently are kicking lumps out of each other, I think it's great, and I think the longer he stays there, the better he'll get.
Yeah, I think, though, if he doesn't win anything this season, he knows that's it, isn't it? It'll be gone.
I think if he I think the only thing that's going to save him if he doesn't win anything is if we come second and there's an improvement again. So if we say we come second and get to the knockout stage of the Champions League, I think he'll survive. But you speak to people at the club and they really, really, really rate him. They really rate him. They're not. I don't think they're looking for anybody else. And in any case, who else is out there? There's only Mourinho, really.
Yeah. What about the Champions League? You must be looking forward to that because that is the creme de la creme of football, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to hearing that music. You know what I mean? Because I sit at home and watch it.
Yeah,
like
the 30 seconds as they all shake each other's hands and everything.
Yeah,
it's
going to be great. But I hope we get,
Mm.
because we've not been in it before, we're not going to be seeded or anything like that. I hope we get some real, I hope we get some real big games.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that we don't have to qualify is great. That gives us a bit more. That gives us it's better than kind of what Arsenal have now got Udinese.
I'll tell you what, the one thing we've talked about Champions League over the last few years is some of the groups have not been at their best because of the lack of the last team, or the last two teams are not so good. But whatever group Manchester City in is going to be an absolute cracker. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, because we're going to get a big club.
You are.
We're going to get an AC Milan or a Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, if you look at City's best team on the day, we give anybody a game.
Yeah, you do now.
You are going to be a team that nobody wants.
Nobody
will want to come anywhere near you. The last thing is
City.
they want. Look, Noel, I mean, you mentioned there when you got along to watch a lot of the games last season. I want to talk a little bit about you and a little bit about Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. I want to play a little bit first of all from the debut single due out later this month.
Okay.
Well, that's coming out, of course, isn't it? At the end of this month, the album being released in October, Noel, and the tickets going pretty well for the gigs too, aren't they?
To be quite honest, everybody's making a big deal of that. They're not that big gigs. I've had bigger parties, to be honest.
Oh, right, okay, you're right. But what about
I've seen something in the papers about 1.4 million viewed the depth of view, what we just heard there, in the first 5 days when it was on the video show. That's encouraging, though.
I mean, I'm only new to this computer game. I only got my first computer at Christmas. Actually says my first computer written on it. And so I'm kind of new to it, and I don't really know what it all means, but the people at my office are getting very excited about that. But be alright if 1.4 million people go and buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Have you
having a look at it?
Have you enjoyed doing it as well, which is perhaps more important?
Yeah, it's a different dynamic than being in a band. In a band, it is a compromise, and you've got to be prepared for that compromise. Doing this, it's kind of just all on you. So I guess the highs are going to be higher, and the lows are going to be lower, and the bits in the middle are going to be very serene, I think.
Sounds like football, no?
We don't earn as much money as football.
Yeah, whatever.
In this day and age, it's an absolute scandal if you think about it.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. So, God, just look, Manchester City, Manchester United. Who else do you think are going to be the main rivals? Chelsea, obviously. What about Arsenal?
I think it's a straight shootout between City and United.
Do you really think so?
Yeah.
There's got to be a London side involved.
I'd be surprised if that manager's there at Christmas.
Really?
But I just don't get. Because they paid 11 million to get him.
Yeah.
If he has a bad start and he's up at Christmas, he's gone. And I just think I just can't see that working out. So Arsenal are great until Christmas, as we all know. Liverpool, I don't see it with the players they've bought. Tottenham, they haven't bought anybody. So I mean, United look really strong, I've got to say. And he bought early, and they're all pretty much bedded in already. So I see it being a straight shootout.
Brilliant stuff. Look, I tell you what, thanks for joining us and taking time out and speaking to us on this Sunday morning. Here's a little treat for you to finish with, Noel.
Need some vocals, Noel.
Yeah, sounds good.
Brilliant stuff. Enjoy the afternoon as well, Noel. Thanks for joining us.